Hello and welcome. My name is Rafael. Welcome to this sequence. This is a shorter version of the Hormone Yoga Therapy sequence from the Dinah Rodrigues method. This is the sequence that I practice every day for 3 months back in 2023 when I was navigating through a time of hormonal changes and imbalances that lasted roughly 2 to 3 years. But 2023 was probably the most intense one. And after realizing this had to do with my hormones, thank God I realized that, I was guided by a friend of mine to the Dinah Rodrigues method. Now, the endocrine system is stimulated by any practices of yoga, really, because yoga just is a holistic approach to the body. But the Dinah Rodrigues method specifically targets the glands in the endocrine system in the way that it unfolds and the tools that we use. The tools of the practice are Bastrika KD, which is the heart of the practice, the bandhas, which is pretty much in any yoga practices you will use the bandhas, Kichari Mudra, which is a gesture when the tip of the tongue is moved to the roof of the mouth or the palate, Kichari Mudra, and circulation of breath or prana. So if you are not familiar with those techniques, I would recommend learning about them first, because for the purpose of this practice, to keep it short, I will keep my cues and instructions to a minimum, or the explanations to what I say. So if you're not familiar with those terms or what it means, then I would recommend just getting knowledge about that. Like I have videos about Bastika and also about the benders. But of course, you're more than welcome to practice it regardless. But just let it be known that yes, the instructions and the cues are kept to a minimum for this practice, apart from this introduction. You will need a cushion for the sequence, for the times when we are seated, and for other things. And there are also some contraindications and precautions regarding some of the tools actually that we use in the sequence. And I will put them in the description box. So I would recommend that you check them out before you start the practice. And what else? And it's also, even though like I was dealing with feminine changes and imbalances, right, in my hormonal system, it's also a sequence that is beneficial to men. Both men and women have an endocrine system. I believe that Dinah Rodrigues has come up with a sequence, I think, for men, which is not too different from this sequence, I believe. I'm not trained for that. I did take the teacher training, obviously, for the Hormone Yoga Therapy back in 2023. So it is beneficial both for men and women. I think, we all go through hormonal changes in different ways and different times maybe in our life. But yeah, I think it's beneficial for both men and women. What else? I'm trying to think if there is anything else that I want to say. Yes, I am sharing my practice. So keep in mind that obviously I'm using my body, my own anatomy and morphology. That's the body that I was given at the birth. But if there is anything that doesn't resonate or feel inappropriate, then modify it, right? As always, to listen to your body, to your breath. I will put some modification and variations maybe here and there in the practice, but yes, just listening to your body and your breath as always, and enjoy the practice. I hope it is of value to you. We begin the practice in a standing position for some of the warm-ups, with the feet hip distance apart more or less. Relax the shoulders, arms by your sides, stand up tall. Interlock the fingers in front of you for the shoulder exercises. Begin Bastrika Kiri, inhaling the arms up and exhaling down. 7 to 10 times. Last exhale. turn the palms down towards the floor. Bring the arms overhead for lateral flexion. Inhaling, bring the upper body to the right and exhaling to the left. Keeping the chin parallel to the floor and the upper body centered. And stop for the other side. Inhaling to the left and exhaling to the right. Stop in the center. Now for Samba. So bend the knees slightly, bring the hands behind the head and move the hips right and left. Bastika Kedi, inhaling to the right and exhaling to the left. Then switch sides, this time inhaling the hips to the left and exhaling to the right. Stop and preparing to move the pelvis forward and back. So beginning with the pelvis tilted back, inhale, and as you exhale, tug the pelvis under. Bastika Kedi. Then we switch the movement, beginning with the tuck as you inhale and exhaling with the tilt. It might feel a bit awkward in this position. Stop, relax the arms by your side, standing leg stretch. Cross the right leg in front of the left, trying to bring the feet parallel to one another or as close as possible. Bring the arms overhead and bring your upper body down. If the hands touch the floor easily, take hold of the elbows and begin Bastika Kedi, bouncing the upper body up and down with the breath. Then release, come up, switching the legs. Bring the left leg in front of the right, showing you from the side here. Arms up, bring the upper body down, and again beginning Bastika Kedi. Then release, slowly come up, uncross the legs, the arms by your side. Come to sit down. You can use a cushion here if you'd like. For seated cat-cow, cross-legged or kneeling down. Bring the hands onto your knees. And first, just moving the upper body forward and back with the inhale and the exhale. So inhaling to arch the spine and exhaling to round. Freeing up the spine. Then doing the movement with Bastika Kedi this time. So just moving the abdomen and the upper body, the head and the neck stay as still as possible. Then relax and preparing to do the movement with the retention on full lungs. Inhale deeply and repeat. Moving forward and back for as long as comfortable, but when you feel the urge to breathe, stop the movement and relax. Those were the warm-up exercises. We continue with the first pose of the sequence, Janu Shasana, forehead towards the knee pose. Right leg stretch out in front, bend the left knee on the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward and take hold of the right foot. Bastika Kedi, 7 to 10 times, moving the upper body up and down. And preparing for the first circulation of breath. Exhale, stay down. Inhale, Kichari Mudra, look to the nose, Mula Bandha. Exhale and send the energy to the right ovary or testes and prostate for men. Inhale to come up and switch side. Left leg straight, bend the right knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, take hold of the left foot or wherever you're reaching comfortably. Bhastrika Kiri once again. Exhale, stay down. Inhale, tip of the tongue to the palate, look to the nose, Mula Bandha. And exhale, send the energy down to the left ovary this time, or testes and prostate for men. Slowly come up, Ardha Matsyendrasana. The simple version to begin with, bend the right knee to the chest, take hold of the right leg. Bhastrika Kiri. Exhale, inhale for circulation of breath, taking the steps, Mula Bandha, bringing the energy to the nose and exhaling down to the right ovary. Now place the right foot to the outside of the left leg, right arm behind you for the second variation. Begin Bhastrika Kiri. Exhale and breathe in. Kachari Mudra, look to the nose, Mula Bandha, and as you exhale, send the energy down to the right ovary or testes and prostate. Release out of the pose. Right leg straight, bend the left knee to the chest. And again, Bhastrika. Exhale. Breathe in, take all the steps for the circulation of energy, this time to the left ovary or testes and prostate. And bring the left foot to the outside of the right leg, left arm behind you for the second variation. Exhale fully and breathe in again for circulation of energy to the left side of the reproductive organs. Come onto your knees for Mahasana. Make fists with the hands, with the thumbs into the palms, and place the hands behind the ears. First, doing a few movements with a normal breath, just getting a feel for the movement and just a sense of how your body is feeling today. And preparing to do the movement, but in retention on full lungs. Inhale deeply, hold the breath in, and do as many movements as comfortable with the retention. Try to move as fast as possible, but still being mindful of your body. When you are done, relax your arms and sit down in Balasana, child's pose for a moment. Prepare for pigeon variation. Come to downward facing dog with the feet together. Bend the right knee on the floor and rest your upper body onto your right thigh. Interlock the fingers with the arms stretched out and Bhastrika Kiri. Exhale. Inhale for circulation of energy. Tip of the tongue to the palate. Look to the nose. Mula Bandha. Exhale into the right ovary. Slowly come up to switch sides. Left knee bent on the floor. Rest your upper body onto your left thigh and your left knee. Arms stretch out in front and begin Bhastrika. Exhale and breathe in, taking the steps for the circulation of energy to the left side of the reproductive organs this time. Supta Vajrasana. Come to sit at the top of the mat with your knees together and separate your feet to sit down between your heels. If this is too much on your knees, you can do the modification that is shown on the screen right now, placing a cushion underneath the sacrum to elevate the pelvis, cross the ankles, and open the knees wide, the arms overhead. Interlock the fingers and begin Bastrika Kedi. Exhale. Inhale, tip of the tongue to the palate, look to the nose, Mula Bandha. And as you exhale, this time send the energy down to both ovaries or testes and prostate. And bend the elbows slightly. Inhale. And as you exhale, extend the arms fully. Uddiyana Bandha. Pull the abdomen in and up, giving a good stretch to the pelvis, the muscles in the front of the body. Then release as the inhale comes. Carefully come out of the pose and lie down onto your back for the prana waves or the waves of beauty. Bend both knees into your chest and take hold of the back of the thighs with the arms, squeezing the knees in. Begin Bastrika Kedi in this position. Exhale. Inhale for Gachari Mudra, look to nose, Mula Bandha. Exhale and circulate the energy to your skull and hair. Setting up for push cycling, place the hands underneath the buttocks, palms facing down. Inhale the right leg forward a few centimeters from the floor and switch with the exhale. With the last exhalation, bend both knees to the chest and take all the steps to circulate the energy to the brain this time, filling your head with light and prana. Then switch legs, extending the left leg this time with the inhale and exhaling to switch. Exhale, both knees to the chest. Inhale, Kachari Mudra, look to the nose, Mula Bandha. And visualize the prana flushing the face, bringing vitality, rejuvenating the skin. And the last prana wave, kicking the buttocks, legs in the air, bend the right leg. Inhale and you exhale, switch. Last exhale, both knees to the chest. Breathe in, Gachari Mudra, look to nose, Mula Bandha. And as you exhale, send the energy to any sense organs, maybe the eyes or the ears. Then legs in the air, bend the left knee this time. Inhale, and as you exhale, switch. Kicking the buttocks with the heels. Exhale, both knees to the chest. Inhale, tip of the tongue to the palate, look to the nose, squeeze the pelvic floor muscles. Exhale and send the energy to any sense organs or structure around the face that you'd like. Slowly release the feet back onto the mat with the knees together, leaning into one another and the feet apart, keeping your hands underneath the buttocks for a moment. Then remove the hands from underneath you, palms facing up, arms relaxed by your side. Staying in this position, close your eyes for a short yoga nidra for the thyroid gland and the nadis. With your next inhalation, visualize the breath entering through the left fingertips, the left wrist, up the left arm and into the throat. And as you exhale, the breath moves down the right arm, right wrist, out of the right fingertips. Again, inhale through the right fingertips, the right wrist, into the throat, and out of the left arm, left fingertips. Inhale into the left hand, the left arm, energizing the nadis on the left side and in the left arm, into the throat, and exhaling out of the right arm, purifying the nadis on the right side in the right arm. And again, breathing into the right fingertips, the right wrist shines, into the throat, and exhaling down the left arm, removing the impurities with the exhalation. Do 2 more cycles on your own, visualizing the breath moving from one side to the other, harmonizing the right and left side of your being. Then prepare for dynamic supported bridge pose with the knees and the feet hip distance apart, arms by your side with the palms facing down, and begin by moving the hips up and down a few times, undulating the spine up and down, stimulating the adrenal glands and the pancreas by doing so. Then keep the hips up and take hold of the ankles or the feet if the body allows it, or interlock the fingers underneath you and begin Bastrika KD. Exhale, inhale, tip of the tongue to the palate, look to the nose, Mula Bandha. Exhale and send the energy into your throat in the thyroid gland. And slowly lower down. Doing another retention here. Inhale. Tip of the tongue to the palate. Look to the nose, Mula Bandha. And exhale, circulating the prana into your throat once again. Then bring your knees to your chest and roll up to find a comfortable seated pose of your choice. Maybe using a cushion underneath the sit bones. For pranayama, using the 3 bandhas to further stimulate, heal the thyroid gland. Sit up tall and rest your hands onto your knees or your lap. Chest open. With your next inhale, bring the tip of the tongue to the palate. Move the chin down towards the chest in Jaladhara Bandha. Squeeze the pelvic floor muscles, Mula Bandha. Exhale, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth and release the head back, Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale slowly, tip of the tongue to the palate, chin down towards the chest, Jaladhara Bandha, Mula Bandha. Exhale to release the head back, suck the stomach in and up, Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale, slowly bring the chin back down towards the chest, tip of the tongue to the palate, Mula Bandha. Exhale to release the head back, Uddiyana Bandha. Bring your awareness to the throat and keep moving like this a few times at your own pace. You could also breathe Ujjayi here to further enhance this practice, giving a gentle massage to the thyroid gland and the parathyroid gland with the breath. Last exhalation. Inhale, slowly bring the head back to the center and return to your natural breath. Just take a moment here to notice the effects of the breathing, the sensations in your body. Now come to lie down onto your back to prepare for the last pose of the sequence, dynamic Viparita Karani, where ideally we want both legs and hips to be off the floor. But if you have any issues with your wrists or your cervical spine, you could do all the variations with the legs only raised. Or another option would be to place a bolster or a support underneath the sit bones to raise the hips off the floor and do the variations in that position. Otherwise, raise your pelvis off the floor and support your hips with your hands with the thumbs in the front of the body, preparing for the first variation, pedaling of the feet with Bastrika. Exhale, breathe in, Kachari Mudra, look to the nose, Mula Bandha. And here with the exhale, sending the energy to the throat and then the center of the head. Frog, soles of the feet together, inhale, legs straight, and exhale, bend the knees, Bastrika. Bring the heels close to the perineum as you exhale, the knees wide apart. Last exhale, inhale, legs straight, tip of the tongue to the palate, look to the nose, Mula Bandha, and circulate the energy into the thyroid gland in the throat, pituitary gland in the center of the head. Windshield wipers, crossing the right leg in the front first. Inhale to open the legs and exhale to cross. Bastrika KD. Exhale, cross the ankles. Inhale, and do the steps to circulate the energy into the throat and then the center of the head. Now do the same thing, but crossing the left leg in the front. Bastrika KD. Exhale, cross the ankles. Inhale, tip of the tongue to the palate, look to the nose, Mula Bandha, and send the energy down into the throat, thyroid gland, pituitary gland in the center of the head. Then bend your right knee close to your ear or your shoulder and rest your left leg onto the right foot. Bastrika KD, pumping the abdomen in and out. Exhale. Inhale and do the steps. Circulate the energy into the throat, the center of the head. Then switch sides, bend the left knee, and again, Bastrika KD. Strong inhalation and exhalation. Last exhalation and breathe in to do the steps for the circulation of energy. Dynamic half plow. Inhale, right leg down first and exhale, switch. Bastrika KD. Exhale and inhale, legs together. Tip of the tongue to the palate, look to the nose, Mula Bandha, and circulate the energy into the throat and the center of the head. Then repeat, inhale, left leg down first, and exhale, switch. Exhale, inhale, legs together. Bring the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, look to the nose, squeeze the pelvic floor muscles. Then separate the legs out wide for the pelvic floor earthquake. Vastika KD, sending the energy into the perineum. Exhale. Inhale. Tip of the tongue to the palate. Look to the nose. Squeeze the pelvic floor muscles. Circulate the energy into the throat and the center of the head. Then finally bring the legs together for the pelvic floor exercises. First, contract the muscles of the anal sphincter, then the pelvic floor muscles, and finally the muscles of the urethral sphincter. Hold for a few seconds and release from front to back. And do this 2 more times on your own, strengthening the pelvic floor muscles. And when you finish, slowly lower the hips back down onto the mat. Then the legs for the final relaxation, Savasana. Separate your legs and your feet, arms by the side with the palms facing up, and gently close your eyes. Fully soften into the earth below you. And bring your hands together, rub the palms to generate some heat. And once you have enough heat, place your hands wherever you feel the need for warmth and healing energy. Connect with your own touch and your healing powers. Then return your arms by your side, palms up. Bring your awareness to your left foot and visualize a bright light above your left foot. And as you breathe in, invite the light into the left foot, moving up the left leg. As it moves up, the light shining onto the left side of the body, the adrenal, moving into the throat and then the center of the head. And as you exhale, the light expands within your head. Inhale and draw the light into one bright point at the center of the head. And exhaling, the light moves back down into the throat and down into the right side of the body, the adrenal glands, the right hip, right knee, and out of the right toes. And with the next breath, inviting the breath this time into the right foot, knee, the hip, shining bright into the right side of the body, the throat, and moving into the head. And exhale, the light expands within your head. Inhale deeply, drawing the light into this one point at the center of the head. And as you exhale, the light moves down the left side of your body, out of the left toes. Then rest for a while in this position. Feeling the balance between the right and the left side of the body. Slowly, mindfully begin to move again. Your toes, your fingers. Bring your arms behind the head and give yourself a good stretch as you breathe in and as you exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Come onto one side and come up to a comfortable seated position for Chandra Bedana, the moon breath. Find a pose that allows for your spine to be lengthened, the chest open. Resting your hands onto your knees and make Chin Mudra with the left hand, the tip of the thumb with the index finger. And bring the right hand in front of your face. 4 fingers together, just leaving the thumb out. And simply close the right nostril with the thumb and only inhale and exhale through the left nostril. The breath gently soothing the right hemisphere of your brain. Making the breath as silent as possible. And find your own rhythm. Maybe making the inhales and the exhale the same length to create balance and harmony and coherence. And after your next exhale, release your right hand down. So stress relieving technique whereby both arms are stretched out in front of the body with one arm pointing down, one arm pointing up and the hands in Chin Mudra. And as you inhale, you chant So, keeping the arms still. And as you exhale, you chant Hum, switching the arm position. Begin with your next inhale. So Last time. Relax both arms and hands. And finally, the salt shaker Bring the left hand in front of the solar plexus with the palm facing up in the receiving mudra. The right hand in the giving mudra with the fingers rolled in without touching the palm and the thumb pointing down towards the left hand. And shake the right hand as though pouring in the zest of life, the joy, the pleasure. Then release the hands down and take a few moments in the stillness and the silence. And bring your hands together in front of the chest to close your practice with gratitude. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.